Freshman Senator Kim Thatcher.
Oh, good.
She's just going to leave it at that, I guess. Hey, first I want to say to the people across the street, I love you. I also love my country, and I want to preserve it for my posterity and for the posterity of anyone who loves the idea upon which this country was founded. Thanks for turning out on a hot, humid Saturday. And I was asked to talk to you about emergencies, specifically emergency clauses. Many bills this session have this language in them. Quote, "This act being necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, and safety, an emergency is declared to exist, and this act takes effect on its passage." Now, assuming words have actual meaning, we wonder these days, this clause basically says that a bill is so critical at this moment that it must take effect as soon as possible in order to protect the community from harm as a result of an existing crisis. Now, according to my esteemed colleague, Republican Senator Doug Witze, who I wish would run for governor, by the way, he said that 71% of the bills enacted into law during the 2012 session had an emergency clause attached. Now, I can't tell you what it is exactly this session yet, but I bet it is more than a majority. I'll also tell you that our legislative council, the people that write the bills, will attach emergency clauses whether a legislator has asked for it or not. It has happened to many, many, many of my bills. And I will tell you also that this Republican is paying more attention to those things because it is becoming more apparent that Democrats are using the emergency clause as a tool against you. As it stands, the legislature is essentially dialing 911 for a majority of the bills that get passed. And most of the time, the emergency clauses are hardly noticed and fairly harmless. However, when controversial bills that pass on a party line vote are brought forward, the majority Democrats in power use that emergency clause not to protect you, but to protect themselves from you. From you. After all, last session, you were all successful in opposing them on the driver's license bill. They never want that to happen again.
Well, we'll just bring it up there.
Here's another example. There was apparently this session, a crisis so harmful to the public that the majority declared that the DMV must, as soon as possible, transfer the records of individuals to the Secretary of State's office to get them enrolled to vote. Whether these individuals wanted that to happen or not is beside the point. But this bill was passed ostensibly to help people exercise their right to vote. But with the addition of the emergency clause, guess what? It does exactly the opposite of that and deprives you of your power to veto. The referendum. Now, was the supposed emergency really to protect the people from harm, or was it really declared in order to save the majority from the inconvenience of having to explain themselves to you? I wonder. The people's veto power exists for a reason. It serves as a check on legislators who have the attitude that we are all unenlightened serfs, that we should not dare disagree with our rulers. And because they know what's best for us, they need to protect themselves from what our opinions are. What can be done? Well, I'll tell you. The Senate Republicans have brought forward, I love you. The Senate Republicans have brought forward Senate Joint Resolution 19. It's a proposal for an amendment to the Oregon Constitution that basically says when a bill has an emergency clause in it, 2/3 of the members of the House and 2/3 of the members of the Senate have to approve the bill before the emergency clause containing bill is passed. With Democrats firmly in control of the state. Proposals such as this have very little chance of passing through the legislature, but a proposal such as this could become an initiative petition. We need to break the majority's grip of power on this state, and it will take a lot of work and a lot of time. We also need to stand united against the assault on our state from the majority Democrats and roll up our sleeves and break the grip of absolute power the Democrats have on the state. And it will require planning, it will require hard work, and it will require unity. Let's recognize the real adversary and unite to defeat it. We need to seek out good principled candidates who fit the districts and put in the work necessary to get them elected in 2016. I submit to you that doing so is imperative. You might even call it an emergency. Thanks for your hard work.